All right, we have Ryan and Jeff Morneau here on the pod today, our first father-son duo. This is very
Yeah,
exciting stuff. Welcome, guys.
welcome.
Hey, yeah, thanks for
We've got a
having
lot of
us.
questions for you, but for those of you who don't know who Ryan is, although Ryan, it's getting kind of hard to not know you in the pickle world. He is the number one collegiate player in the country. You just graduated from JMU a little while ago, so congrats on that. My husband
Thank
says
you.
to say to you, go Dukes.
Go
He's
Dukes.
an '04 graduate. He spent a lot of time in Shoker Hall, he said, which maybe you know because you're a finance guy.
Yep, definitely.
Ryan is a rising, very popular content creator on Instagram. His profile is called Pickleball Breakdowns, where he essentially breaks down plays by the pros, analyzes different strategy, shots, movement patterns, et cetera, et cetera. And I got to say, Ryan, your analysis and breakdowns are really good. They're spot on. And
Thank
I
you.
sent a text to you a little while ago, but Anna Bright used one of your breakdowns in her online boot camp. I forget which one. And she says she really likes your analysis. So that is, great accolade for you. Now, Jeff, Ryan may be the number one ranked player in the country, but the Real Housewives of Pickleball doesn't want to leave you empty handed. So we would like to officially crown you the number one pickleball dad in the country.
All right, let's
Woo!
go.
How does
Let's
that
go.
sound?
Yeah, I'm very proud to be now known not as Jeff, but as Ryan's dad, for sure.
Instead, that's right. That's your new moniker. No, but seriously, Jeff is an attorney here in Massachusetts. He's a 5.0 plus player himself and top platform tennis player as well. He is an investor in Boston Pickle Club, I should say. Quick disclaimer, I am also an investor in the club, and we are opening our third location soon in Connecticut. And Jeff has been really an integral part of that. So we want to talk to you about kind of what it takes to open a club and your thoughts on that. But also, most importantly, Jeff, you've recently shot to pickle internet fame, or should I say infamy. You were involved in a bit of a controversy on the court, which we're going to talk about as well. But first, Ryan, let's start with you. All right, of
Okay.
course, I want to ask you like the question, what made you want to start pickleball breakdowns? But before you answer that, one question I've been dying to ask you, and I want to ask before I forget, because I'm kind of in awe of people who do this really well, and I think you do it very well. Your breakdowns, do you script these out and read from a teleprompter, or is this all just kind of totally off the cuff, winging it? Because I'm very, very impressed at the way you deliver these things. I think it's harder than people think, right? Like you have to time yourself perfectly. You have to be super precise with your language. You have to do it all in a short time frame because, people have the attention span of squirrels nowadays. And you have
Yep.
to have a voice and a tone and a way of presenting yourself that people really want to listen to. So I'm curious, tell us your tricks and then tell us why you decided to start this page.
Neely, you might be asking his secret sauce.
Yeah.
Hopefully he'll give away his
Don't give
tricks.
it all up.
Yeah. I think a large part of it is a lot of just, who I am. My mom is a big time talker, and I definitely inherited that trait from her. So I can talk to a wall. And then you combine that with just kind of innate knowledge about pickleball. I mean, I grew up playing tennis, racket sports, and then I transitioned to pickleball, call it 5 years ago now. And throughout those 5 years, I've really just established a lot of my knowledge base from playing and internalized all that information. And I can watch something and basically be able to tell you whether someone's legit or not in a few seconds. So then when I go watch like gameplay, all of that stuff, it just is firing off the cylinder in my head. And then I try to internalize, okay, what's actually the biggest problem or the biggest root of the success or failure that I'm trying to point out. So to answer the question directly, definitely not scripted. I can talk all day about pickleball. If you give me a 5 minute clip, I could probably talk about it for 2 hours. So
That's awesome.
it rolls off the tongue really nice. And that, a lot of that ability, the tone, the dictation, the speed, or I guess the pace in this context is really from the finance background from JMU. I got involved my sophomore year in an investment fund, and a lot of their internship process was involved with networking, how to network, but also then how to present, how to, give public speaking, how to present a deck. And a lot of those traits carry very similarly to content. Then throughout the process, 9 months ago when I first started the channel, my videos, just the format, it was very startup like super bad, not optimal at all. And then I slowly learned that, okay, I'm talking too much. I need to get to the point, and I'm still trying to refine it. So I learned what people like. Sometimes on my really valuable videos, they're a minute and a half, but on other tips that are just quick, they need to be 45 seconds. Even though I could talk about it and give real value for 2 minutes, it's not giving all of that value. It's picking which value is like going to meet the general population and they're going to internalize it. So that part is something I'm trying to continue to work on, and I'm still trying to find that right balance.
Yeah. Well, can I say those are great tips for any social media content creators who are listening. But I think public speaking is a skill that every young person should really work on and invest in. My dad was saying when he went to Hamilton College, he said, I don't know, Jeff, the same was true for you, but back in his college days, he said public speaking was a requirement, I think every year in college, and now it's not, but it's a really truly valuable skill. Was it required for you, Jeff, back in your day?
Yeah, we had to do a bunch of public speaking in high school, but then obviously in college, and especially law school, I really had to learn to do public speaking. You had to stand up, give arguments, make presentations. You'd get called out or singled out in class. So you really had to be able to relay whatever information you wanted to relay in a public setting with people that they're not your friends. It's not just talking to your family. You're talking to either a professor, or you're talking to a judge, or you're talking to a jury, or you're talking to a crowd of people, or you're talking to peers that you might know, but you're not really friends with. So those are skills that they started in high school, but I taught a little bit of tennis too. So you learn to do some speaking to, clients or customers. Yeah, that's where I got my limited background in it. And then, my kid, just like pickleball, tries to and is doing everything better than me already.
So Ryan,
Mostly.
so talk to us about why you decided to start Pickleball Breakdowns.
Yeah, so there's this account on Instagram. Feel free, the audience or you guys, to look it up afterwards. It's an account called Film Breakdowns, and what he does, or sorry, Film Watchers.
Okay.
And what he does is NFL content. And if you notice his style of video, if you go and look at my videos today and you go look at his, they look the exact same because I saw his videos and they're really in-depth explanations on wide receiver routes, how the O-line uses their hands and hips to control how a defensive lineman can win or lose a rep. And I was like, okay, this is sweet. I know nothing. I love watching the NFL. I don't really know about the individual like techniques or tendencies of the players. This guy is giving me a world of value. And it's not just me. It's 500,000 followers across platforms. But I saw this back in September, and I was like, okay, I can easily do this for pickleball. I probably know 10 times as much as this guy in their respective sport. So why don't I just do it? And I don't like the on-court teaching. So that was like the perfect format for me. And then at the same time, it was kind of a combination of that. I had a lot of good ideas within the pickleball space for different startups or businesses. And one of the issues I realized when I was like doing a little bit of like a clothing company prior was building the product was really fun for me, but the marketing piece was extremely hard. So this time around, I figured, why don't I just build my clientele before I build the products? Because I know I have all these good ideas, but I really need people to actually subscribe to what I'm building. And my account is very focused on pickleball centric people. Like, I don't want 100,000 followers with 90,000 of them being people that don't want to get better at pickleball. I want 20,000 that are legitimately going to be clients for a potential service or value driver to them that I genuinely believe in. So those two things really came together at the right time. And it was a perfect kind of worlds colliding moment where I have an opportunity and no one else is doing it. I know I'm the best out of it. Even if you go, if you get Ben Johns, I don't think he can do what I do. He knows all the information, but he doesn't speak as well. Right. So you need both. And I just had all the skills to at least start and give it a shot. And then I kept with it and people like it. So I'm going to continue to do it.
Yeah. No, that's
awesome.
Well, it's a good question though, Tosh, and then I'll let you jump in with your question. It's a good question. It's like the chicken or the egg, like if you have a pickleball idea or business, do you start with just giving really good content to get a big audience, and then you kind of eventually, once you have established yourself and maybe have thousands of followers, then maybe you push a product or a service? Or do you start your product and service and build it up that way to get followers? It's kind of it's kind of a tricky thing, but I think you made a good point.
It is, just to piggyback really quickly off that before you go, Natasha. It is a good question, and I don't know the answer. It's just my second try. I did it one way, it didn't work. I did it the other way. We'll see how it goes. Then the other really thing cool about social media is I'm not funny. I can provide value though. That's my lane. Then a lot of people, they also build businesses online, and that's a really good way to get people to buy into what you're doing too. So that's another option that is going to be down the line for me as well. But sorry to cut you off, Tashi. Feel free to go.
No, no. What I'm hearing from you, Ryan, is it's beautiful because what I'm hearing is that you just know your strengths and you just kind of double down on your strengths through using your platform through social media and the value that you're adding through the content that you're creating with the strategy, the tips through pickleball. That's awesome.
Yeah, I think a good point, because an innate strength of mine is my age and my youth. It would be a very different deliverable if my dad or someone like him, like he's older. Obviously, he knows probably just as much as I do about tennis, racket sports, has the same ability to deliver the content. But the fact that people can feel like they're identifying with me as like the target audience because I'm very similar to them. I use the same language. Sometimes I throw in some slang from Gen Z, and then I just look the way I do. It feels like very relatable, which is another strength that is just naturally built in that I have going for me as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very cool. Very well thought out. Neely and I just did this on a whim one day at the pickleball course. We were like, let's do it, right?
Well,
Yeah.
that's it. I mean, it is kind of like the age-old question. I remember reading a book on entrepreneurship that was said the title was Just Start, because it's like
Yeah.
you can either analyze, have paralysis analysis until your analysis paralysis, whatever it is, until you're blue in the face, right? Because you're thinking, oh, what should I do? Should I go this way? Should I do that? Sometimes you just have to start and then you kind of pivot and you tweak from there. Um,
Completely.
yeah.
So I was
So
curious. We started talking about both of you with your journeys to pickleball. Jeff, you mentioned that, or Neely had mentioned that you played platform tennis.
Yeah, so I had played. I went from tennis to platform tennis, and now over to pickleball.
are you
Yep.
done with
So
platform tennis?
And
I'm
tennis?
I'm done with platform tennis and tennis. So I haven't actually played a real tennis match in probably 6 or 7 years at least. Maybe I hit once or twice a year just for fun, and it's the same thing with platform tennis. I mean, I might play 3 or 4 times a year, maybe one or two casual. And then this year I played, one tournament on the weekend and that's it. So I'm now, to the extent that I'm playing a racket sport, it's going to be pickleball, and I'll play a little bit of golf.
Yeah.
And I think it's just kind of been a natural transition for me. I think platform tennis, particularly as you get older, um, is problematic. It's outdoors in the cold. You're usually playing at night in the freezing cold weather. You're getting out of a car and getting on a court. And I just saw a lot of, I'll call it my age people and older, just getting injured and then not being able to play pickleball or go skiing or do any of the other physical activities that they like due to a back injury, a knee injury, an Achilles, a foot, or something like that. So I just kind of cold turkey stopped playing platform tennis. And now that,
I
Ryan
gotta, I
started
gotta say, there is nothing appealing to me about platform tennis.
Yeah,
to.
you had me at cold and outdoors. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that's not good for my joints.
I remember when I was dating Johan, so that's my claim to fame. I dated Johan Durant for like a year or so. He was just starting out in platform tennis, and then he became obviously the GOAT, as we all know. But I remember thinking, like, there is nothing that interests me about this sport. Like, I do not want to go out in 20-degree weather. Well, I've got that Raynaud syndrome anyways, where like your hands go numb, and I'm like, it's just so unappealing. And then like just I don't know, like my arm hurt the next day after trying it once, and it just was like, ugh, no, no.
Yeah.
So yeah, not for me.
Yeah.
Ryan, did
It
you ever
was
try platform tennis? Or is that a no for you?
I mean, I tried it, but I'm about as anti-cold as you can get. So I'm moving to Arizona after I graduate. So that should give you my stance on the cold. So
Okay.
it was fun. I just couldn't. It was a great sport. The cold was just a hard no for me, though.
Yeah.
And so
Uh,
growing up, Ryan, you saw your dad playing both tennis, platform tennis, like you were dabbling yourself in tennis.
Yeah, I mean, mainly platform tennis by the time I was like sentient. But Yeah, obviously, dad is amazing at both of those sports. Grew up playing tennis. I think relatively seriously for a young kid until I was like 12. Then I was just like, I don't want to do the whole traveling thing. This is like not fun. I don't get to go to Six Flags with my friends. I'd rather do that. So then it was more of a backseat role where it was like really fun for the summers. I got to hang out with my friends, played during the high school spring season, like, a few months a year. I was never great at tennis. I was good. But it was more of a social sport. And once it crossed that line, I just didn't like it anymore. So it stayed as a social sport, I'd say.
Yeah. Can I ask, because I talk a lot about on this show, parent-child advice in terms of, athletics. Like if you're a parent and you have a kid who's into athletics, what are some do's, what are some don'ts? Because like I can see with my own daughters who are getting really good at tennis, actually. I can see some things that I do that I'm like, I probably not good. I probably shouldn't be doing it. Like after my 9-year-old played in a tennis match, and afterwards, I'm kind of like trying to go over the things that I saw that maybe she could have done differently, or and they say like all these Instagram influencers say, you should never talk at all after a match. Just go in the car. If they bring it up, then you can talk, but don't mention anything about their performance or whatnot. And there's all these different tips and whatnot. So I'm very interested in this subject matter. Ryan, growing up, and then Jeff, I'd like for you to kind of answer, like, what was that like for you? And maybe even with pickleball in college, like, did you like having an involved parent, or maybe Jeff, you weren't involved? Are there do's and don'ts that you can say as a kid, what to do, what not to do, and then as a parent, Jeff, how did that work for you?
I can start, I guess. I'll give my dad some credit. I think he did a pretty good job because I think I turned out all right on that sense. I didn't feel any like, I mean, there's always pressure to play good or whatever in front of your parents, but I think I don't know from my dad's perspective. I feel like I was pretty good at tennis and had at least some real potential. And that had to kind of maybe waste is not the right word, but it wasn't realized because I just didn't want to do it.
Mm.
I feel like that can probably be a pretty hard thing to see happen for an ex former tennis player. But I was just, I don't know, I just didn't want to do it. So he didn't make me do it. And I think
Do you
there
think,
was
Ryan,
much after that.
do you think if he had nudged you a little bit or pushed you a little bit, you might have delved into it a little bit more, or do you think it really needed to kind of come from you and he did right by not pushing you?
Maybe, but I think if you don't really love the thing you're doing, like inherently, then you're not going to want to do it for the rest of your life or college or really compete at 100% effort. So I didn't love tennis. I don't love pickleball. I really like pickleball. I don't love pickleball either. I don't want it to be my full-time job. I didn't love tennis. So it just wasn't what I wanted to do. And in my opinion, obviously in retrospect, I don't know, but whether he pushed me to do it or not, maybe I was going to be really good, but I would have never loved it. That's just something I feel like you just do or don't by the time you're that age. But I don't know. I'd like to hear my dad's perspective too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And to just want to interject, Tosh, remember what Tony Rogue was saying on the podcast a few episodes ago, like Tyra, Hurricane Black,
Hmm.
about how she kind of hated tennis, but she loved pickleball. And he was saying, he thinks it's because tennis was chosen for her, but she
Yeah.
chose pickleball.
Yeah.
So I think that's a pretty good point. But yeah, Jeff, what are your thoughts on all this?
Yeah, it's interesting. I think first, I think every kid is different and every parent-child relationship is different. And so I think you got to always take the kid into account
Hmm.
first. Who is your kid? What does the kid want? What do you think the kid wants versus I think what a lot of parents do is what do you want for your kid?
Yeah.
And that's where things become a problem,
Mm.
I think. So, I think I treated Ryan and Megan completely differently. I have a daughter who's very much into lacrosse, loved lacrosse, wanted to go practice by herself every day, go to the wall, go shooting, got in shape. That's really all she wanted to do. And so that's a little bit easier to push
Hmm.
a little bit more, and probably wanted a little push and wanted that. Um, Ryan, I with both my kids in tennis, right? None of them grew up, none of them really took to tennis or a racket sport until really high school.
Yeah.
Obviously, I was there to be able to provide the lessons, ask them if they want to go hit, do you want to go play? They were introduced to other pros. I could obviously teach them, and none of them really found a passion or love for it.
Mm.
So you just get to a point, actually, it was really early on, that this is just going to be a lifelong sport. I'm going to introduce them to it and let them figure it out. And if they ever said, I want to do more, I want to take lessons, I want to take private lessons, obviously we were able to do that and would have supported it, either through other people. But if it's not something that they genuinely want to do,
Mm.
despite your efforts at convincing them that it's a good thing, or explaining to them, what it's like down the road, you could play in college, you could be one of the best players in the state, you give them all of the information, is what I like to say, and any and all information that you can give them, and they're the ones that have to decide, because I'm not driving 2 hours to Boston for lacrosse practice so that, so that I can try to get a little money for my daughter who's going to college. I mean, if she doesn't want to go, like, I don't need to be doing that.
Right.
So it's a balance. Each kid is different. And I think the most important thing for parents is to keep the kid's goals in mind, not what you want for your kid and not what you think your kid wants.
Yeah.
When your kid reaches an age of, at 8, maybe they don't know any better, but when they reach 12 or somewhere around there, like, they kind of know, like, what they want to do, but supplying them with all of the relevant information that allows them to make the best informed choices that they can make, I think that's how I did it. And so that's what I think is the right way to do it. But all kids are different. All parents are different. And I don't know, you
Tosh,
hear all this.
Does that resonate with you? Because you have all three of your children are great athletes.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I learned so I have three kids. I have two boys and then a girl. My oldest is 20 years old, and then a 19-year-old boy, and then my daughter's going to be 16 this summer. Um, my son played football, my middle son plays lacrosse, and then my youngest plays golf. Yeah, none of them took to tennis either or skiing. I'm like, darn it.
Ugh.
The two sports that I tried to introduce to them when they were really little that I could, share with them.
Spoiled
Um,
curses.
yeah, they went a different track, but that's kind of when it started for me. Like I think it's really an internal, decision that I had to make with myself, like as a parent. And it started for me that early on. I mean, they must have been like 5 years old or something. And as soon as I wasn't teaching them any longer, I could see that they weren't, it was just a fun sport for them to play, something fun to do with me, with their mom, with their dad, with our family.
Right.
But nothing that they were like really wanting to pursue on their own. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I love that perspective that you had, and it was so well said. And each child is very, very different. And I had learned from child to child to child. I think I nailed it on my third.
Nice.
That,
Nice.
yeah, that yeah, they just choose their own path, and I'm here to really provide those guardrails for them and as much information as possible.
Yeah, and the path changes too.
Yeah.
Just the path that they were on at 11 might
Hmm.
not be the same path when they get to high school at 14. They may decide that,
Yes.
they loved it for those three, whatever it is, 11 through 14. Yeah, they wanted to go
Yeah.
to practice every day. They were
Yeah.
training on their own. They were watching video, doing whatever you needed to do. And then, you get to 14, 15, high school,
Yeah.
and they may say, I don't want to do that anymore. And all
Yeah.
you can do is, continue to supply information, be supportive,
Yeah.
be encouraging, and, hope internally that they, come back to something that they loved.
Well, my daughter had a tennis match on Sunday, and afterwards, I was like, okay, I'd written down some notes and was kind of going through them. And she looked at me and she said, "Mom, I think we should follow Dad's advice. I think we should just stick with the positive things." And
Yeah.
my heart sunk, my face melted, and I was like, "Oh dear God, am I becoming that tennis mom that, like the parents who like paced at the tennis tournaments back in the day and the junior tournaments?" And oh, so I appreciate your advice, and it's
Yeah.
well
And
well taken.
I think the individual sports like tennis, like pickleball, are significantly harder for parents than the team sports like lacrosse or football.
Yeah.
For sure. So,
Right.
I think parenting those different types of sports, individual versus team, are also different. So there's a lot of things, and I don't know if there's an expert on anything. Show me an expert in parenting, and I don't
Yeah.
know. There's
Yeah.
no such thing.
There's no one right answer. It's so, yeah,
Right.
nuanced for
All
sure.
right, Ryan, let's talk a little bit about pickleball content. I'm curious, what do you think separates the elite players from like the 5.0 players? I want to hear what the big differences are.
Yeah, it's a boring answer, as I'm sure most people would tell you, but it really is decision making and consistency. I see 5-0 players all the time have better flicks than I do, which is a shot you shouldn't even be thinking about until you're 5-5 plus. Or they have really good like driving crash. They have amazing drives, but they're still 5-0. So a lot of it comes down to how can you get to the kitchen line? Why are you driving? Should you be driving? Maybe not. So getting to the kitchen line is like the number one thing. If you can get to on offense, if you have to hit a third shot drop, if you can get to the kitchen line at like a 70% clip, that means 70% of the time you're making the point 50-50. And that's going to turn out pretty well for you over the long run if your opponent's only doing it at 40% of the time, right? So that's like the first big thing I'd say. Then the second is just dinking smart. A lot of people, they try to go for the flashy dinks, especially when they're in trouble. Like they get pulled out wide and they try to hit a really mean, sharp cross court angle instead of going like soft and safe middle and resetting the point.
Anna
So
Lee Waters style.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. They see
Yeah.
Annalie Waters do it, except they don't copy any of her mechanics and are not as nearly talented, and they expect the
Just
same result.
two minor things right there.
Yeah, so it really is just decision making and consistency. Like the way I like to put it is, at least at the top of the game, although it might not be like a real thought going through people's minds, it's really a percentage game. How can I get to the net against these specific opponents more than they can get to the net against me? How can I make more dinks than them? And if you go about solving your game or the problem of winning the game through that mindset, a lot of it becomes pretty simplified. But a lot of people just take low percentage shots or game plays that are not going to make them 5-0 plus or even 4-0 plus.
Yeah. Yeah. I like the more I play, and Anna Bray talks a lot about this, but at any level, if you can get really good at being consistent, about making
Yeah.
good decisions, and about anticipating fairly well, I think you're going to be really good at any level, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. It's just
Yeah.
it literally just depends if you decide to do the stupid shot or not, which most people do, which is completely fine. It's just you understand like that's not like it's not like Ben Johns is hitting a speed up on every dink. He'll dink 20 times before he hits a speed up. So
Yeah.
it's just stuff like that. It's really nothing like people can solve that issue themselves. They just choose not to most of the time.
Right. 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 What is
And
that?
speaking of which, I was just with I'm on a CSP, Champion Series Pickleball League, Ryan, and
Okay.
I went to go meet with my new team this year, Atlantic City Aces, that Yusuf is on, and he said to say
Oh yeah.
hello. Yeah.
Yeah, Yusuf's the best. I haven't seen him in 2 years, but when I was first getting into pickleball, my freshman year, so 4 years ago now, and then my sophomore year at college, he was one of the first players I played against in singles. It was like, again, like one of my first times picking up the paddle, and he got me in a money ball. It was the first one I ever signed up for. I was definitely the new kid in the block. There was these big powerhouse favorites, and I came in and I beat all of them. Besides Yusuf, he got me in the upper bracket and again in the lower bracket. He's still to this day undefeated, 2-0 against me in like one of my first ever tournaments. And he is quite the player for his age and what used to be his size. Now he is slimmed down significantly, but he is quite a great player and honestly a fantastic person as well.
I mean,
He
not
is.
to,
He is.
like knock you or anything, but I just love when like an older person beats a younger person. Jeff,
Oh no, it's
I don't
always
know if
exciting.
Jeff can relate and Tosh can relate, but like you guys are in your 50s, I'm 48. It is so nice to see when an older, 40 something beats a young little whippersnapper like yourself.
Well, I don't
For
think
sure.
it's just nice. I think it's really cool that, age really, the bottom line, it doesn't matter, you
I
know?
mean, it does, but sometimes, I mean, I think it does. It does in many cases, but I think when I do see the opposite, it's sort of, I don't know. It's a cool thing to see.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a great player.
Oh, you met him too,
He's
Jeff?
oh yeah, he's beaten me and Ryan for
Ah.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Generational.
he's got the whole he's taken out the whole family. But he's really nice when he does it. He smiles
Yeah,
after
yeah.
and he
Yeah.
says thank you. Yeah, he's
Oh, that's
great. He's great.
Hey, Ryan, what's the most controversial breakdown that you have ever posted, or like it's got the strongest reactions from? Can you name one off the?
Yeah. Yeah. I would say, well, it depends how you look at it. So I usually separate that into two different issues. So the controversy sometimes stems from the public. Then some of the controversy, it's from specific pros that do not like my breakdown sometimes because they have their own perspectives, particularly Leah Jansen. She's a little more hard-headed and she'll let me know when she doesn't like something.
Okay.
Um, and which is completely fine. So she's done that a few times and I don't mind. Honestly, I don't mind controversy at all.
I got into
Whatever
it with her. I got into it with her one time in the comments section where she was talking about how she doesn't like when rec players celebrate or yell, "Come on," or like when she's playing with somebody and her partner says, just rec play, and her partner says, like, "Let's go, come on, we can do this." It irks her to no end, she said, and so we were going back and forth. She has very strong opinions, so I got you on that.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Like she can, she's the number three, number two woman singles player in the world. Fantastic player. Obviously knows what she's talking about.
Hmm.
But I do too, and I don't care what she thinks. I think I'm right, which is fine. So my breakdowns, everything I put on my page, I genuinely believe. Obviously, that's subject to it's subjective opinion. Like you don't have to agree with everything I say. The probably the number one that I've gotten like backlash on. I'm trying to think. Let me think. It was third shot location. So
Hmm.
a lot of people they're just confused about where to hit your third shot because most of the time you're just blindly like hitting it and trying to get it in.
Hmm.
And the way to go is obviously is to hit your third shot to the returner because they're still moving up. There's better margin for error. That
Hmm.
got a lot of controversy, mostly positive, but that was probably the best topic I've helped people understand.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, you're saying your third shot drop should go to the person who's moving it, return the,
Yeah,
yeah.
obviously, if you're playing against a really weak opponent or then a really strong one, you're going to target the weaker player most of the time. But in a neutral slate, you're going to hit your third shot to the player still moving in because they're
Yeah.
not established. So their
Right.
feet aren't established, which makes just their whole decision-making process a lot harder. Therefore, improves your margins, improves your percentages. And then it's a world of ease. And if you ever watch the pros play, they're doing this at 95% of the time, probably.
Okay.
Um, so it's just a subtle thing, but it really helps.
Okay. Got it. Unless the other player is much weaker, then it would maybe make sense to go to that person.
Yeah, there's exceptions. Like if someone's really bad at handling drives, maybe it's worth it to hit a riskier drive to that player just because it might be a free point. But yeah,
Okay.
long story short, yeah, that's correct.
Huh. All right.
I have a question regarding building a brand. What
Okay.
advice would you give a young athlete who wants to grow on social media? Do you think it's really that important for athletes to do it as well?
Oh yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
for advice on how to build a brand, you got to talk to my sister because she's the absolute best on that. She's got like
Cool.
over 200,000 followers across platforms. She's done
What?
online fitness. She has done essentially my goal. She has turned her viewers into clientele. But in pickleball I think players are not understanding the opportunity they have when they
Yeah.
get to the top, right? So these young kids that are really, really good right now, and they're in this like mid to upper tier pack of PPA or APP pros, they're not understanding that their time is very short. And pickleball, it's such an easy sport that it changes really quickly who's really, really good, right? This sport is not hard fundamentally. So it's not very hard for someone to go take your spot in 2 months. You might only
Hmm.
be at the top of the game for 4 months. In those 4 months, you better work your butt off to build your brand so that after you're done playing, you can go into commentating. You can go into an analyst role. You can provide online coaching if you want, or you can go get paid $500,000 at your local country club to go be a head pro. But if you
Right.
don't have the personal brand, no one cares that you won a medal in 2022 because now it's 2025 and no one knows your name anymore. So there's a
Which we're
big
already
lack
kind
of
of seeing
understanding.
in pickleball, right? Some of those players are transitioning to commentators and doing
Yeah,
different
and it's great.
things.
It's
Yeah.
great. I mean,
Yeah.
the problem is they're just not getting paid what they should be getting paid if they capitalize on building their brand
Got
a
it.
year ago. If you're on the top of
Got
the
it.
game for a year, you can easily gain 50 to 100,000 followers based on the following of the PPA. And then if you
Yep.
provide your own content that's valuable, now you're sitting at 100,000 followers after a year. Now you can do whatever you want. Who cares about playing? Obviously, you want to, but these, especially the kids that are my age, I mean, they're missing out on potentially generational wealth just by being lazy, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, I think you would be a great commentator because of obviously your passion, but your knowledge of the game. And like, no knock to or disrespect to Dave Fleming, but like, if when I'm watching pickleball, what I want from a commentator is superior knowledge. I want them to teach me as the pros are playing. And I feel like pickleball commentating, like you could be like the John McEnroe of pickleball
Ooh,
commentating.
that's
He's
high
so
praise.
good
Thank you.
because he teaches, he instructs as he commentates. And I think pickleball needs more of that.
Yeah, I will say I'll give credit to Dave Fleming and basically their top four commentators that they have signed to the PPA. They're fantastic commentators. To your point, they don't do the educational stuff, but they are great at their job. But everyone outside of that top four that they have on staff straight out sucks, and it's just a fact. They are horrible at commentating. They're not energetic, and they're providing you no value. It's honestly, it's a little bit pathetic, especially with this new deal. $225 million inked, and their
Right.
number one plan is to improve the production quality. And if you're watching anything besides the main court, you're getting nothing.
Hmm.
So I completely agree. One, I will say counterpoint to Leia Jansen. She's great at the commentary piece with the educational value. So I
Yeah.
really like when she's in the mic. But yeah, good point. The commentators are subpar to say the least.
Yeah. Um, all right. Well, Jeff, let's switch gears here a little bit because I want to hear about the third club that Boston Pickle Club is slated to open in the fall, I believe. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? It's very exciting, obviously, as an investor of Boston Pickle, and kind of what made you want to start a pickleball club and get involved in that?
Yeah, thanks. Great question. So we started, I think I just wanted to go back to my roots, Neely. I really did. I loved teaching tennis. I loved teaching kids tennis. I loved being part of programs. I loved building a community, bringing people together. And as you know, I did that for a long time before law school as a tennis pro. And I don't know, I've been doing this lawyer thing for 25 years or so. Pickleball was kind of up and coming, and the opportunity just presented itself. At least in this area, there was a need for a pickleball facilities. I drove around with my partner, who's a builder general contractor. We found a piece of land that was in an absolutely spectacular location, and we just started doing it really with we said we're buying the land, we're building a pickleball facility, and here we go. And he was going to build it, I was going to operate it. I was going to really scale back to as much as I could on the legal practice, maybe down to zero, and just go do that as sort of a second career / retirement. And then, as you know, I know Johan, I know Steve Mitchell, I know Mike Wilmot. I from our daughters play lacrosse together. I know Steve from his daughters playing lacrosse, and we just got to talking. And they were doing a spectacular job. They had been helping with me opening the club, and it just really worked out that they're such wonderful people, such wonderful operators. It was really a perfect match. And once we were able to put the deal together, it's really, I think it's going to be awesome for Boston Pickle and the community.
What do you guys think, both of you? What do you think the best clubs are doing right now? Like, what do you think it takes to be a really good club?
I think you got to have, I'll let Ryan talk, but I think you've got to have really good programming, and you have to have people in charge who really want to build a community.
Hmm.
And you got to have a good, I think you got to have a good facility and good pros and good staff to do that, because it's about the people. That's why you want to keep coming back. I mean, you have options as to where you can play pickleball. There are a lot of options now. There didn't used to be 3 or 4 years ago. You only had one spot you had to go, whether they did a good job or a bad job. But now it's about, what are you building? You're building a community of people that want to be together, want to play together, want to be around each other. And that requires, I think a good location, good programming, and a good facility. And I think Windsor is going to be, the premier facility, certainly anywhere within, 50 miles of where we are.
Yeah. Well, how many courts? I forget what the investor update said.
Yeah, there's going to be 12 courts.
Oh.
There's going to be it's a 2-floor facility. So the bottom floor is going to have 7 courts, just straight 7 courts. The top floor is going to have 5 courts with a lounge area. There's also going to be a bar. They're going to serve some food, and there's going to be a spectacular mezzanine overlooking that first floor.
Ooh.
Yeah, so it's a built facility specifically for pickleball. It's not, I think, what most people are used to, which is either these mall conversions or these strip mall conversions or these big box retailer conversions.
Right.
This is a ground up build specifically and exclusively built for pickleball and for this particular community. We took everything that we could think of into mind with, sparing as little expense as possible to get it built. And we're really excited to partner with, have Boston Pickle come in and run this thing.
Awesome. Well, Ryan, what do you think?
Yeah, I'll piggyback a little bit. I think the 2 most important things are community, and then also corporate sponsorships or partnerships. And I'll touch on community to start, because I think the narrative of pickleball facilities has changed over the last 5 years. And with time, it's become increasingly oversaturated, talking about the strip malls, the mall conversions, all that stuff. But originally, when you put them up, it was, okay, how fast can I put a pickleball facility up? Because people need more courts to play at, especially in the Northeast. Now, as time's gone on, it's okay. Now there's way too many courts. People can play anywhere they want. And more importantly, they can play for free outside. But the community aspect, I touched on that, is so important for a facility, because the sport has kind of evolved where now people, they want to play with other like-minded people that are competitive on the same scale as them. And how do you find that at a free public outdoor court where you have to rotate in, or you have to drive 30 minutes to hopefully get a court where no one's going to bother you?
Right.
And the membership of a facility is well worth your time if you can find a good group, or more importantly, the facility sets up their programming in a way where you're automatically built into a group of people where you're getting a heightened experience where you would otherwise. And then that's where the membership value comes in, where now it's a no-brainer to get a membership because you're guaranteed a very good experience when you're going to play. Yeah. And the advantage of this facility is the bottom courts being 7 of those. The top is the mezzanine, the lounge, and the 5 courts. You can have full programming and member play on the 7 courts below, at like a 5 p.m. during peak hours, while having a corporate event or a sponsor event going on up top. So let's just say a local dental office wants to bring their entire staff for a holiday party. They can do that on the top floor and bring in that revenue while having full member play uninterrupted on the bottom floor. And those are almost separate, but they're both equally pretty good experiences, which is honestly in my mind, the perfect facility. So at this point, it's no longer, is this going to be the premier facility? It's really just the execution piece.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's really, I think Ryan really summed it up well. I mean, this is designed to be able to do both of those things. This is really, if you want to have a corporate or office retreat or party, this is going to be the facility to do that.
Yeah. Oh, I can't wait. I'm so excited. I mean, any new club that opens in the area, I get all riled
When is it
up.
slated to open?
It's going to open sometime in the fall. We're pretty far along in the building. It looks like the courts are going to be coming in here, going to get installed, it looks like, in August. And so we're looking, opening shortly, at some point shortly after that, but it should be ready for the fall.
What's been the biggest hurdle for you in opening a club?
Yeah, good question.
I'd say, construction. just inevitably, I mean, you hear about construction of this or construction of that. You've probably had home renovation projects that you thought were going to be small home renovation projects that you thought were going to take, 2 weeks, and they end up taking 3 weeks, or they take a month, whatever it happens to be. So some construction delays along the way, but really, other than a little bit of that, there really hasn't been any. The town of Windsor has been spectacular to work with. And now we're just getting through putting all the pieces of the puzzle together and working with Boston Pickle and some specific things that they requested, as well, some amenities that they wanted to have and specific things to their brand, that
It's so
we've put
funny
in
that
that we weren't going to do before.
it's so funny that you said 2 weeks because when talking about construction projects, have any of you guys seen the movie The Money Pit?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
With Tom
Yeah.
Hanks and
Yeah.
Shelley, what's her face? Shelley Long. And they're renovating their house and he goes up to the construction manager and he says, "How long is this renovation going to take?" And the guy says 2 weeks. And they're like, "Oh, okay, great, great." And then, 6 months pass by and it's still a big mess. And he goes up to the guy and he says, "How long is it going to take now?" And he says, "2 weeks." And he like keeps saying 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks. So yeah, I could see how that would be a major hurdle. But we're sort of running out of time here, Tasha. I don't know if you have any other questions, but I have to talk to Jeff and Ryan because you guys both have sort of been involved. Ryan, I know you posted a couple of posts on your
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
pickleball
yeah, yeah.
breakdowns, but Jeff, you also posted something on Instagram about this, and it kind of went viral. Tell us what happened in this controversy, will you?
Sure. I mean, I'll start. I think like the video said, I literally was going out to my family was away. I had nothing else to do, and signed up for a tournament in Newport sort of at the last minute. And I have some family out there. Went out on Friday, I think, played singles on Friday against all the young bucks. Had no issues, got my butt handed to me a little bit, but it's always fun. And then Saturday, just playing doubles. And I think we made like whatever it was, the quarterfinals, and just playing against this guy I'd never met before. And it's like 2 points in, and sort of like I think you were saying earlier, Neely, where somebody doesn't like the, fist pumping in rec league when somebody misses a shot and the come-ons. It's like a couple points in, and that's what I'm hearing. I'm like, oh God, here we go. I'm 55 and I'm going to be dealing with this. And then legitimately the ball was like flying off of his paddle. And I guess I did. I never said anything to him during the match, but I clearly said, I said to my partner, like, I think this guy's paddle's juiced because it was absolutely flying off. Didn't say anything, played the match, shook his hand, did the thing. As we're leaving, I just said to him, I said, "Hey, I just want to like let you know, like, I think your paddle's like hot." And he took offense to that. And I just kind of let it go. It was not a big deal. And then he posted something on social media, and then we just kind of having a little fun with it kind of having fun with it since then. I'll let Ryan kind of take over from there.
Yeah, go for it, Ryan.
I mean, I'm not involved in like the issue if his paddle is legal or not. I don't really care. The thing that I guess is to start by saying a few things, especially in New England, like there's nobody good from Rhode Island, like actually good. So they all play against each other, and they're in this like 4-5 to like 5-0 range, and they think they're better than they are because they play their local tournaments and they get their wins, but no one good's playing there. Like if Johan went up there, or me, or Sam Kim, I mean, you could play with one eye closed and walk the
Oh my
house.
God, I love this. I love
But
the conviction. All right, go ahead.
no,
Yeah,
it's true. It's just an objective fact. Like look at
yeah.
the dupers. It's just they're not, they're average 5-0 players, like whatever. So they all think they're better than they are. One. Then you have this kid, like, I'm sure he's a good kid, but he's like a social media guy. And then he posts that video. And the problem is really just the video. Like in any other sport, or no, really just any other sport, if you have a conflict, like on the soccer field, football field, basketball court, there is like significant beef between players all the time. Like I remember even in high school, like you're going at it with the kid. After the game's over, the game's over. You walk home, you call it a day, and you go do it again on the field, off the court, whatever. It's just like, okay, now you're back to like normalcy, right? This is
And
like you're
so,
just living your life.
Ryan, just to clarify, the video was of like the chirping that was going on in the game.
Yeah. The chirping was fine. Like this is just like what happens. Like I don't care that their dispute or whatever. It's on the court. It happened during a tournament. it literally was irrelevant. But once you post it online, then it's like, all right, like you're kind of a tool. Like, what are we doing? Once you do that, then you got everything coming to you. Now my dad's 55. He's got, a decent amount of free time. He's got some fun friends. They made a few videos. Now this I don't know how old he is, like 24-year-old kid. Now you're in for it because you poked the bear. So whatever's coming to you, you got coming to you. So they got their match on Saturday. Then we're gonna wipe the floor with them in split age, which will be fun. But I'm sure he's I have no hard feelings toward the kid, but he knows he got himself into trouble, and there's no way out now.
He's gonna have to dig himself out. Yeah.
So now the follow-up, Jeff, you posted this hilarious video that was like something out of like Sokolov and Affiliate, like a funny lawyerly video. And you said, let's settle this by playing a singles match for charity, right? What's the follow-up on that?
Yeah, we're doing it. So he accepted the challenge. We're gonna play this Saturday, Ryan. Saturday at 4:00. We're gonna play, and as Ryan said, there's no hard feelings. I mean, I like him. No. He's a fine kid. He's a nice kid. It's gonna be fun. I'm excited to play. I'm looking forward to it. It's made its way viral, so we're gonna do it. I think it's gonna be live streamed, Ryan, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, the CEO of Duper, he reached out to me after the video and he was like, I want in on this, like all that stuff. But yeah, it'll be live streamed. It'll be fun. I'll commentate it. I'll do my little thing. It'll be fun. And
can you be neutral though, Ryan? Or are you going to be a little biased for your dad?
Oh, definitely biased. I mean, this is what happens. If you start a fight like this, then this is what you get. Sometimes if he did it to some other old guy, I'm sure he wouldn't care. But this is what happens, and now he's in a situation where there's no winning for him, right? Yeah. Either, okay, you beat a 55-year-old, which you're already better than on Jupiter,
right.
Or you get yourself embarrassed.
Right.
On now my platform, which, again, is definitely going to have more reach than his does.
Yeah.
And if that happens, let me tell you, I'm posting that thing everywhere. So it's a lose-lose for him, but this is what happens when you do that. So
the lesson is do not cross the Morneaus.
Just know what you're getting yourself into. I mean, it's a risk, and he took it, and now he's going to find out what happened. So it's all right.
Well,
I have a question before we end with a rapid fire. Ryan, about your college pickleball and the future of the sport. I believe that you got into the pickleball club at JMU early on, correct?
Yep.
So how do you see, collegiate pickleball? What do they need to do to take the next step?
Yeah, 100%. So just for some context, I got in my freshman year when college pickleball was in its infancy. It literally started when I got there. And I've seen it grow over the last 4 years to a national championship in the first year where there was literally like 32 teams. And it was teams of like the total amount of players there was like 200. Now the national championship has 64 teams and each team can bring 2 teams. So it's like thousands of kids there. I've seen sponsorships come in, all that good stuff. But to answer your question directly, I have no like legal expertise on the NCAA and kind of how they work things. But I will say, in my mind, it's almost ready for that kind of progression to a varsity sport because of Title IX and the fact that it's a co-ed sport. It probably presents a unique challenge where you don't really have, like for women's tennis and men's tennis, you don't play mixed doubles, you split them. And pickleball, that's not really possible. So it's definitely a unique challenge, but it also satisfies Title IX, so that could be something to look at. And then when we talk about NIL money, that becomes interesting because the talent pool is good enough, like genetically, to go pro when you're young. You don't have to be 22 years old. You let your muscles develop, let your brain develop. And pickleball, it's an easy sport. If you're good, you go pro. So the question is, will NIL money be induced into the sport? And is there a return on investment for the school to actually, roll that out? And that's the question that everyone wants answered. And it'll probably take 5 years. I don't know though. I don't know the economics of how big the sport grows and how fast. It'll be an interesting topic though.
The young crowd is definitely making a big movement though, because you also have APP with their junior programs, and then PPA also. You just saw probably the last tournament before switching over to MLP with a lot of really good young talent there. coming through
Yeah,
with
it's
GPA.
just the question. I mean, in my mind, it's also a personal question for these kids, right? You're good enough to go pro, but if you go pro, you really can't get a college education if you're going to do the 32 weeks a year it takes to travel to different cities around the world, now around legitimately the world, to play PPA and
Right.
MLP. The FAU kids, Florida Atlantic, those girls are
Yeah.
really good. Bella Nelson, Ava Caviato, they're getting their
Yeah.
education while doing it, but they're not playing 32 weekends a year, right? They're playing APP, which is more like 15, 20. It's a little more manageable. But are you really going to sacrifice an education to pursue your dream of pro pickleball where there's not guaranteed money yet? There's not a guaranteed future. That's a big risk. So in my mind, I would love to see a varsity sport come just for the sake of honestly the young kids so they can continue playing while
For
actually building
security. Yeah.
a real skill set, not hitting a wiffle ball around a court.
Well, it's not like professional tennis in that your career is basically over, for the most part by, early 30s. I mean, pickleball, you can be a top pro well into your mid 30s.
Yep, exactly.
So
Right
I
now, we'll
would,
see as it
well,
progresses if
that's
when there's
yeah,
more, you know.
that's true. That's a good point.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows 10 years from now? But
Yeah.
I agree with Ryan. It's like I would advise people to, play competitively while also getting an education. You have something to a
Yeah.
degree to fall back on.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
all right, Tosh, you want to
Well said.
take them out with? We got some rapid
Yes.
fire questions for you guys.
So
Oh,
this was an unusual one because we've never had two people.
No, we
So,
have. Remember Susanna Barr and
oh,
Dominic Catalano.
true. Okay.
That was the Battle of the
Scratch that
Sexes
then.
episode. Yeah.
Okay. So rapid fire, just basic questions. It will be for both of you to answer. So just blurt out yes or no, whatever, the question is.
Okay.
All right. Who is more competitive?
Ooh, I would say my dad.
I would say me.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
all right.
Who talks more trash on the court?
Probably me.
Ryan for sure.
Okay, we're split. Who spends more time on the phone?
I do.
Yeah, I was gonna say dad. It's a lawyer.
Okay.
Yeah, as for mostly work, but
Right.
yes, definitely me.
Sense.
There may have been a little foreshadowing before this question, but who's more likely to be late?
Me.
Yes.
Definitely Ryan.
To give him some credit, it was only 5 minutes late, so that's not too bad.
All right, who's funnier?
Dad.
Ryan.
Oh,
Ooh,
I love that answer for both of you. All right,
interesting.
which pickleball shot best describes your personality?
Hmm.
I like it.
I,
Ryan's in deep thought.
Two-handed drive describes me the best, I think.
Oh, yeah?
I'm gonna watch
Nice.
out for
yeah.
that if I play him.
I would say just a two-handed speed up off the bounce. Probably that's probably my best shot.
Well, I remember Sam Kim saying your backhand like a while ago. I remember him saying like Ryan Morneau's got the sickest backhand
Yeah,
in
backhand's pretty
pickleball.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If you could steal one shot from any pro player, which would it be?
definitely Chris Hayworth's forehand
Uh,
drive.
I am going to say whoever has the best flick backhand.
He'll take Len Yang's flick or
There
Gabe
you go.
Target.
Nice.
I
I
played
want
against
that.
Len, and I think one of his first pickleball tournaments ever, I played against him and Christina Chin, and I knew he was new to the sport. I immediately knew this guy's going to be
He's a
insane.
ping
And
pong guy. He's got the best flick ever.
yeah,
Yeah, he's got fast hands. All right.
Yeah.
What are you trying to prove less these days?
Oh,
We're going
Prove
deep
less.
now. What are you trying to prove? Could be on the pickleball court, could be in life.
hmm, interesting.
have fun.
Oh,
That's
I would
me.
say, what am I trying to prove? Right? Is that the
Yeah,
question?
yeah.
that's a curveball question, Tosh.
I would say, I'd say I'll say intelligence.
Oh,
Okay.
well, you got that in spades. You got that in spades, Ryan. I don't think
Yeah,
you need to
maybe
prove it.
maybe it's just a front though. Who knows?
You've
I'm
already,
taking I'm
oh,
taking
oh, like a little imposter syndrome. Oh, we've all
Yeah,
experienced that. Don't
I'm
worry.
taking I'm taking fun over brains all day long at this point in
yeah.
my life.
Okay. I love that.
And on the flip, what's something you're still figuring out?
Ooh.
Well, that's interesting as a 55-year-old. I mean, for a 22-year-old, you're figuring out a lot, but
I would say building systems.
Building systems.
How to retire
Yeah.
so that I can play more pickleball.
yes. Yes, you can spend more time at the Windsor Club.
There you go. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, and that's all I got.
Okay.
Awesome.
Oh, this has been
Been a
so
pleasure.
much fun. Our first father-son duo.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So
Thank
much
you so
knowledge
much.
and wisdom. Ryan, I know that you have a bright future ahead of you. Can't wait to
Thank
see
you.
all that you do in Arizona, with, in your finance career, in your pickleball journey, whether it's playing, starting a business, and Jeff. It's been a pleasure, and I can't wait to see what the club turns out to be. It sounds amazing. So excited, and so thankful that you're a part of the Boston Pickle Club journey. And yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Any final words?
No, thank you guys. It's great. Keep doing the great work, and we'll see you on the paddle circuit soon.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
well, and good luck on Saturday. I am definitely tuning in
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
popcorn for that live stream.
All right.
Ryan, your
Well,
passion is so clear to me. Keep following it. It's awesome. Love
All
the
right. Thank you so
energy.
much.
Yep.
All right.
Thank you, Jeff. Really great to meet you both.
you
Take
too.
care,
Thanks.
guys.
All right.
Okay.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.